Welcome back, YouTubers, to our Destination X preview video. No, not WrestleMania 20. It's Destination X with me, Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me, none other than NJ.
What's up?
We are the British Fish.
Gotcha.
Subscribe above, like this video, and make sure you give us any thoughts that you have going into TNA Destination X 2012 down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be quite an interesting pay-per-view, isn't it? We've got a lot of X Division action on this pay-per-view, which is one of the original reasons I personally started watching TNA. So I must admit, I am really looking forward to seeing the main event of Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode. I'm really interested to see, what X Division talent is going to be on Showcase going into that Ultimate X match. Just the card is going to be stock full of X Division stuff, which I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Well, the 2 points I want to quickly make are the X Division. Before this pay-per-view started, a few weeks before, we thought the X Division is definitely failing. It's going down rapidly fast because of the injuries and not much talent. And slowly, because of this, like they did last year, they're starting to reinvent itself and become back to a place where it can still progress on from there. And the second point quickly is that this pay-per-view, all these matches have had the good amount of build over the last couple of weeks. So very nicely done.
Indeed, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the X, like I said, the X Division stuff, the X Division Championship. And like you said, they needed to bring in new talent. Just like last year, they needed new talent. They got an Austin Aries, a future guy who could main event a year later. And now they need to find that next set of X Division talents to keep them going for the next year, possibly the next big star for the X Division.
Because the thing is about Big Star is that thanks to Austin Aries, we know every year now an X Division star had the biggest chance of their career is to take the big step up towards the main event.
So the X Division does need some credible names, we'll just say that. So let's just go straight on into these matches. We've got the X Division stuff, we'll cover all that first. We've got that X Division tournament to determine the final 4 guys in the Ultimate X match. The first thing we need to address is that the 8th spot is going to go to someone in the last chance 4-way who lost the 4 matches. It's Dakota Darso versus Rubix versus Lars Only versus Mason Andrews. Do you see this being a pre-show match or opening the show?
Opening the show, because I think the pre-show matches, I'm not always greatly fond of them, and with an X Division style pay-per-view, I think they should fit as much as they can on the actual card.
Yeah, and I think the standout guy for me in this would either be Rubix or Mason Andrews, and to be honest, I'd like to see Rubix get that 8th spot, personally.
Of all the names, I'm not really the greatest fond of them, as you heard in our preview shows and all that, but I'm thinking Rubix, the biggest name there, will probably have the chance of winning.
The most familiar within the guys in, PWG or whatever. Shikara, that's who he's like. Shikara, that's the one. So we go into, basically, we have 4 semi-final matches to determine who is going to be in that X Division tournament, in the X Division Ultimate X for the X Division Championship to crown a new X Division champion. We have 3 kind of like X Division veterans in there. Douglas Williams, Kid Cash, and the guy who came from last year's, a 4-way contract match, Zima Ion. You've also got Flip Casanova, Kenny King, Rashad Cameron, Sonjay Dutt, and the guy that wins the last chance 4-way. I think the best thing to do is to pick 4 guys who we see going through to the final, then see who we really think should win.
Number 1, obviously, is Kenny King.
Kenny King, definitely.
Next one, I would pick Dutt.
Sonjay Dutt is a definite for me.
Then Ion.
Definitely
then
Ion.
4th one, well, to be honest, none of these names were brilliant, in my opinion, compared to those ones we just named, but let's go with...
Could be anyone, really, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah. The 3 most important guys, Kenny King, Zima Ion, and Sonjay Dutt. You can stick a Rashad Cameron in there for all I care. But,
well,
I mean...
If I had to pick a name, just for the sake of it, the fact we've got 2 new ones coming in, Dutt and King,
2 old ones.
Ion's already in it, so I think the other one might be Kid Cash, for the sake of it.
It could be Kid Cash, Doug Williams, who really knows? Either way, we know we're going to get a 4-way crowning the next X Division champion, and to be honest with you, who's your favourite to win this? Because I know who my favourite is to win this.
I've got 2. I'm going to cancel it down to 1. The 2 are Dutt and King. If I cut it down to 1, it'll be none other than the King. Yeah,
indeed. Kenny King showed the best mic skills. He showed he was one of the better in-ring guys, and he was the ROH Tag Team Champion, and he still is at this present time in being. It seems like him and ROH have come to terms with him now being in TNA. So, in my opinion, Kenny King has got the best package to win that X Division Championship in terms of a full package like Aries had last year.
But if we go with that, yes, King would be the logical winner. But in TV-wise, it's been appearing on TV, being on his web on TNA TV, it would be Iron's.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ion was before all the new talent came in. I thought they were going to give the X Division title to Zema Ion so they can have a feud with Jesse Sorensen down the road, which could have drew big money for TNA. But I think now I've seen Kenny King and how much he stood out from the rest of the crowd. I have to say Kenny King is going to be our next X Division champion, especially now I know him and ROH have parted terms. Apparently, according to news, him and ROH have parted ways.
So talk about that. Make sure you check his videos out to make sure what is his future and when he loses the tag team belts.
Oh man, I can't believe that INX are going to break up. But it's for the better good. Kenny King is going to be earning more money in TNA if he gets the contract and the X Division champion. And he's going to be the forefront of the next set of X Division guys if he wins this. And I really do think he has to win this, in my opinion, just from what we've seen on TV and the qualifying matches.
Very talented wrestler. Yes, he's not been in TNA a long time, but in that one match, awesomeness, and I'm definitely looking forward to him being in this match.
And if we look at all these X Division guys, you know, we've got the original three. We've still got Shelley to come back for Sabian to come back for an injury. We've still got Jesse Sorensen. If we introduce a Sonjay Dutt, we can even bring through a Rashad Cameron. We've got plenty of X Division talent to choose from there if TNA want to make a new X Division, which is, you know, one of the things that these qualifying matches have brought us, just like last year's qualifying matches did.
Very true, and the ones that obviously don't make it, they may come back next year, but for now we've just wrapped up this match, who we're getting in the final.
Ultimate X should be a good one. Hopefully Kenny King will get the victory. We also have a Bound for Glory series match at Destination X this year. Reliving an old rivalry, Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. They main evented Impact a couple of weeks back, and I expect this to be, now the time limit has gone up to 15 minutes, I expect this to be a hell of a match.
Yes, they've already done this match, so in the game we're repeating it, but with these two big names, two big guys that we know can put on a great match and a pay-per-view worthy match, yes, you could have said Hardy and Storm could have made it, but this one is just as good to be the replacement for a pay-per-view match, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, based off previous history, these guys have a lot of history together in terms of their feuds, so Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle on a pay-per-view, hell, I'll definitely take it. Who do I think is going to win? Personally, I think Kurt Angle may win because he's a bit behind on the points, but at the same time, Samoa Joe could win because he needs to challenge James Storm for that top spot.
Well, if you go for Kurt Angle, I'm going for Samoa Joe just because I think Samoa Joe, again, he's gradually trying to build his way back into TNA because he had that big slippery slope of losing streak, and now he's getting to something that's big and important. Yes, Angle's the bigger name for now, but I think Samoa Joe definitely has a reason to be climbing up higher.
Last man standing match, AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels. This will essentially, it probably won't blow off this big storyline with AJ Styles, but it will probably more than likely give AJ Styles a victory, a bit of vindication over Christopher Daniels, probably. But who really knows? It is essentially a no DQ match, so you could have Kaz come out and cost the match or something.
And that's the thing, there's no surprise that AJ wins all the big pay-per-view matches. So yes, Daniels could win this one and then AJ wins up the next one. But in past history, you see that AJ always gets the last lap at the pay-per-view over Daniels, so AJ.
All I can say is we got it last year at Destination Next because they wanted to sort of, you know, showcase the X Division, etc. And now we're getting it for a big story. And all I can say is Bound for Glory one last time, and now we're getting it at Destination X a year later after last year's Destination X. Can we not have AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels move away from each other? Because I'm kind of tired. As much as I like seeing them wrestle, and they're probably going to have a great match, I'm just tired of seeing these two wrestle in the ring. They've done it a lot on free TV, a lot on pay-per-view. It's just getting tiring now.
Sadly, TNA know that these two are a big draw and they can put on great matches, but with AJ being the biggest character he is in TNA, he should be at the time of his career when he's facing younger talent maybe, or just something that's going to make it a bit different than his continuous feud that he's always in.
And do you think they'll continue this storyline on to Bound for Glory and maybe have another blow-off match there? Maybe a three-way between AJ, Kaz and Daniels or something?
Well, somehow Kaz needs to get more involved. So all it really is, the whole tag team feud, the whole storyline feud is just about these two. So Kaz does need some involvement somewhere, but I do see another match at Bound for Glory.
Main event of Destination X 2012, a match I'm very much looking forward to. The World Heavyweight Championship, Austin Aries cashing in his X Division Championship to get a shot at Bobby Roode. I must admit, out of all the challenges that Bobby Roode has faced, Other than James Storm, I think Austin Aries has been the most compelling opponent for Bobby Roode, especially seen as from last year as Destination X, he got a contract. And it's been so nice to see his rise up to the top and his consistent booking. And he has worked his ass off for that spot 1 year later in the main event of Destination X. He definitely deserves that spot, doesn't he?
Because that's the thing with Austin Aries, is a character that TNA know, Hogan especially, and even Bobby Roode, the champion at the time, knows that Aries is the next big thing going into TNA. And for him to get this match at such a pay-per-view that shows the progression of a star like Austin Aries, it's going to be a very good match and pay off wonderfully for TNA.
It's going to do wonders for both guys, in my opinion, because you've got Austin Aries now in a main event slot where he's wanted to be for some time. It also gives Bobby Roode another compelling opponent. But to be honest with you, the biggest story here is going to be Bobby Roode versus James Storm at Bound for Glory. So I think Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode are going to have a hell of a match. It's going to be really competitive. I think Bobby Roode is going to make Austin Aries look very good in that match. But essentially, I think Bobby Roode has to win this match, essentially. I don't think Austin Aries is anywhere near ready, really, to hold that belt. Plus, they've got a much bigger storyline planned with months and months and months of culmination and build in James Storm and Bobby Roode, and they can't mess that up.
And even though we've had Bobby Roode crush Storm's dream in the past by taking the belt off him, it looks like he's going to do it again to a guy who's waited a whole year for this moment. He's going to probably do it again to build his character as a heel up more and a good champion, to go and progress onto Storm at Bound for Glory.
Hopefully that'll be the case. But these guys are going to put on a hell of a main event. It's probably going to be the best main event for TNA of 2012, apart from the lockdown match between Storm and Roode, would you say?
It has the big chance of being like that, because we all know that Aries is a talented wrestler and he's going against Bobby Roode. So it's a way of Bobby Roode putting Aries over and Aries giving Roode a big win, so it's equaling out to be a great match.
Indeed, and to be honest, this pay-per-view is equaling out to be very good. I mean, not only that, but we've got build for next week's show, which will essentially be like a 2-hour Impact pay-per-view, and we've got so much on this card, guys. This could really be a pay-per-view, a real good pay-per-view in my opinion, possibly a pay-per-view of 2012. Slammiversary was a very good pay-per-view, but I think this pay-per-view can offer us the best wrestling. I think we've got a lot of X Division action on here, which I'm really looking forward to, a great main event. AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels, even though I'm fed up of seeing it, will still put on a pretty decent match. Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. There's a lot I'm looking forward to on this card, and I hope this Destination X really cements the X Division, gives us an X Division champion, and gives us a great main event in Austin Aries Bobby Roode. I really think it has the potential to be an incredibly good pay-per-view.
That's the thing, we've only got one for Bound for Glory Series match, but this pay-per-view is not concentrating on them, it's concentrating on the X Division, and I'm glad that by the end of this pay-per-view, we're going to have new TNA X Division wrestlers going on to the future. We're going to have a new X Division champion, someone that we could believe in, get behind, and enjoy his build-up to next year. So overall, this pay-per-view shouldn't slip up.
And one message I want to send to you guys out there. If you're a TNA fan and you like the X Division, make sure you buy this pay-per-view so you can show TNA how much you like the X Division. I urge you guys to buy the pay-per-view if you're really looking forward to it like I am. And if you want to show TNA that you're prominence, that you really want more prominence in this X Division. I just want to send that message out to you guys out there. But it should be a hell of a show. I'm definitely looking forward to Sunday watching this one.
Well, with TNA wanting things to get bigger for their company, people paying for their pay-per-views, people tuning into their pay-per-views, and the fact what they're giving us in each build-up to the pay-per-views is definitely worth it. So I encourage you to buy it too. Yeah,
so give us your thoughts down below on the X Division stuff. Who do you think is going to win the Ultimate X match? Of course, Kenny King is a favourite of ours. Give us your thoughts on the build, of course. Give us your thoughts on the main event. Could Austin Aries override Bobby Roode for that World Heavyweight Championship? Just give us your thoughts on this pay-per-view, the X Division pay-per-view. That is Destination X 2012. Down in that comment section below. I'm going to hand you over to the Right and Honourable NJ, forefront of the X Division.
And from the It Factor, Mr. Parkin, and the NJ. Till next time, YouTubers. Goodbye.